Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's fall quarterly update webinar. We're really grateful that you all can be with us today. We've got a lot of updates, so we're going to get things moving right away here. My name is Rudy Sturck, the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Green Bank, and I will be joined by a number of my colleagues. As we go through our presentation today, I will introduce them. So first, a few housekeeping things. We are recording this session and we will send out a follow-up email to everyone who registered with links for them to check out the recording and any of the resources that we mentioned along the way. We will start with an organizational update and then go on to talk about our home solutions programs, including energy storage solutions and Smart E. We will pass the mic to the Building Solutions team for an update on Solar Map Plus. Then we'll talk about some exciting investment solutions related updates, and then we will close out with some closing thoughts. If at any point along the way you have questions, please put them into the question box. We will do our best to answer them at the end. For anything that we don't answer, we will follow up directly with folks. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Green Bank President and CEO, Brian Garcia. Brian?
All right. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you for that context setting there. Just while we get going here, just a few things on the organization. You've heard this in prior quarterly webinars before, but a couple things I want to mention here. One is our mission is to confront climate change. You all know by now that we do that by increasing and accelerating investment into Connecticut's green economy. So this is about increasing and mobilizing private investment, because to hit any of these targets, these ambitious public policy targets that we have here in Connecticut to confront climate change, we need to mobilize private investment. So that's our mission, and a planet protected by the love of humanity is our vision, inspired by the late Mother Jennifer from the Daughters of Mary of the Immaculate Conception in New Britain, Connecticut, inspired by Mary Evelyn Tucker on inclusive capitalism, who teaches at the Yale Divinity School, inspired by Muriel Bowser, the mayor of Washington, D.C., whose inclusive prosperity mantra really got to us. So we want our team to wake up every Monday with the thank God it's Monday kind of attitude, because we can't have environmentalism without humanitarianism. So just a real quick snapshot on our mission and vision. Let's go to the next slide, Rudy. Our goals, we're going to hear these literally throughout the presentations today. The three goals of the Green Bank. Firstly, when people think about green banks, they think about leveraging limited public resources to mobilize multiples of private capital investment. I'll be giving us some updates on where we are in our first 14 years. Our second goal is to pursue investment strategies that advance market transformation in green investing. We're going to hear about two of those, I think, today with our presentations here. And then lastly, to strengthen Connecticut's communities, especially our vulnerable communities, low to moderate income communities, environmental justice communities, by making the benefits of the green economy inclusive and accessible to all individuals, families, and businesses. So we're going to hear about all of how we're achieving all of those goals through our various programmatic activity today. Let's go to the next slide. This is the Green Bank model slide. I think this is a new addition to our deck here. We have a great infographic one-pager on our website that really speaks to the Green Bank model. Again, taking a little bit of public funding to mobilize multiples of private collectively together. That leads to the deployment of clean energy and environmental infrastructure in and around the state of Connecticut through those various financial tools that are noted there. We also get that $1 of public funding back. We don't give it away, we invest it. Super important difference. And then with all of that investment in and deployment of clean energy and environmental infrastructure, we get all the social and environmental benefits that I am going to speak to next. Let's go to the next slide. So just giving everybody here a little preview, it is audit time for the Green Bank. Many of you know that our audit period is from July 1st through June 30th. So we are just wrapping up our fiscal year 25 annual comprehensive financial report, which goes to our Audit, Compliance, and Governance Committee. That report, typically 300, 400 pages long, includes both financial statistics, which are your generally audited financial statements, and non-financial statistics, which is all the impact we achieve by making and enabling all of that investment. So you'll see those things. Just at a high level, we have crossed the $3 billion mark through FY25. So we have invested about $460 million of public resources to unlock and mobilize about $2.7 billion of private investment. Let's go to the next slide so we can dig into what all of that investment means. So just real quickly, at a high level, investment does a lot of different things, right? It generates tax revenues. So all the clean energy that gets deployed, it also generates individual, corporate, sales, and property tax revenue. We have really good calculators that estimate the property tax revenues, individual, corporate, and sales tax revenues, and it's about $160 million to the state of Connecticut and its municipalities through our first 14 years. The investment in clean energy also leads to the deployment, obviously, of it. The deployment helps reduce energy costs on families and businesses. So we've helped over 70,000 families and businesses reduce the burden of energy costs by supporting clean energy, both energy efficiency, renewable energy, and other clean energy technology. Let's go to the next slide. As those technologies operate and perform, they obviously do a lot of different things, but I just wanted to emphasize they help improve public health. By cleaning our air, we can actually estimate the associated public health benefits from reduced air pollution, reducing particulate matter, SOx, NOx, all those sorts of things are really important to reducing hospitalizations, sick days, and we've got ways to estimate that based on the EPA's AVERT models, COBRA models, co-benefit risk assessment models. All of these things tie into our very comprehensive data warehouse and estimation system. And then lastly, the fourth E on the equity front is I just kind of want to speak to really quick that we have a goal as the Connecticut Green Bank of ensuring that no less than 40% of investment is directed to vulnerable communities. Many of you Connecticut stakeholders know that the vulnerable communities definition arises from Public Act 20-05, more colloquially known as the Take Back Our Grid Act that followed Tropical Storm Isaias. That definition includes environmental justice communities, it includes low to moderate income communities, it includes CRA eligible communities. So you can see there over 14 years, when you pull all of the investment together underneath that amalgamated definition there of vulnerable communities, more than 52% of all that $3.1 billion of investment is going into vulnerable communities. You see that top bar there, CRA eligible communities. CRA is a federal policy, I think passed in 1977, that requires all depository institutions, think state chartered banks, regional banks, federally chartered banks that are FDIC insured, to ensure that they are investing in less than 80% area median income census tracts. So for us, the Green Bank, that's a really important thing because our partners are typically from the banking industry. We want to attract their private capital into supporting these projects. So you can see this is our stretch target. We are short of that 40% goal. We also measure low income and disadvantaged communities. This is a federal definition, our former federal definition. You could see where we would stand with respect to that federal definition for all of you out there that are familiar with the CGEST and EJ screen definitions there. That is the amalgam of all of that as well. So those are our results. I was just giving you a little bit of a heads up prior to the release of our October annual comprehensive financial report on the non-financial statistics. So stay tuned for that next month. Let's go to the last slide. Today, we're going to hear all across our different solution sets how we're in fact advancing the mission and vision of the Green Bank and those goals that I was speaking to. So let me turn it right back to you, Rudy, and we'll continue forward.
Thank you, Brian. Now we are going to talk about our solutions for homes. And the first one that we're going to talk about is the Energy Storage Solutions Program. So I'll ask Ed Kranich, the Associate Director of that program, to come off mute and guide us through his part of the presentation today.
Thanks, Rudy. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, next slide, please. So as Rudy said, I'm Ed Kranich. I'm Associate Director of Incentives with the Green Bank on the Energy Storage Solutions Program. I'm going to jump into some updates on the program, but maybe just kind of a high level, just to remind folks on the call. Energy Storage Solutions is a program that's overseen by PURA, the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, and managed by the Connecticut Green Bank, Eversource, and UI for Connecticut homes and businesses to install battery storage at their property. Most often it's paired with solar PV, but we do provide incentives for any type of battery installation. So for more information, you can visit energystoragect.com. So just a couple of updates for those who are familiar with the program. Our summer 2025 season is wrapping up. Our passive season just ended at the end of August, and the active season is coming up on an end in about a week. However, there are no more events expected because thankfully it's going to be pretty cool. I don't think we're going to have a heat wave coming anytime soon. So we are going under our annual review right now with PURA. That starts in August and it goes all the way until mid-December. So right now, as some may be aware, we're exploring some options to reduce or eliminate the clawbacks of the upfront incentive and potentially change the structure of the program to be more performance-based. So if you're interested in how the program is progressing, what might change, or if you want to provide comment, please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to me directly if you want to learn how to get involved, but you can also follow the current docket, which is docket 250805 with PURA. So all of this will come to a close in December when PURA decides on whether anything's going to change or by how much. So we're always looking for ways to improve the program. We have a couple of upcoming webinars, and those who are subscribed to our mailing list will probably get invites pretty soon, but we have a webinar on energy storage for houses of worship and other nonprofits coming October 29th, and another one the following day on October 30th for general commercial and industrial customers. So stay tuned for updates or for invites on those. Next slide, please. So just a bit on the program progress to date. So as of yesterday, we're over 1,000 residential units, which is a pretty impressive feat, 1,055 to be exact, and approaching 12 megawatts. So we just recently crossed over the 10 megawatt threshold on residential to get into step 2 of the residential tranche 1. So still a little bit behind our expected schedule, but doing pretty well. Hitting that 10 megawatt threshold was a pretty big day for us. So we're excited, and we thank our contractors and customers for enrolling in the program. We're at about 350 units of underserved / low income customers for about 2 megawatts in total. So making some progress towards our goal of 40% of program benefits reaching underserved or low income communities. For the commercial and industrial, we do actually have a number of projects in the queue right now, about 12 megawatts, but we currently have about 153 megawatts of capacity approved for 77 buildings. And just another webinar / training plug, our next eligible contractor training, which is required for all prospective contractors or TPOs in the program, is Wednesday, October 29th at 12 p.m. And that'll be led by Lawrence Taylor here on the team. And just note that these trainings used to be on Thursdays. Now they're going to be monthly on Wednesdays, around the last Wednesday of every month. So for more info, visit energystoragect.com, or you can reach out to us directly with any questions on how to get involved or any more info on the program. So I think with that, I will turn it back over to Rudy. Smart loan. Thanks.
Thank you, Ed. So for anyone listening who's familiar with our flow of how we do these things, this is the part where we always talk about our flagship program, which is the Smart E-Loan program. And I usually get to provide this update, but I'm very grateful today to be able to turn it over to my colleague, Barbara Waters, the newly promoted director of the Smart E-Loan program. I've worked with Barbara for many years, and I'm very excited to have her at the helm of this program that has helped nearly 10,000 families make improvements to their homes, improving their energy efficiency, the comfort of their home, or their resilience. So now hopefully, Barbara, you can give this slide for us.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we made technology work today, Rudy.
Yes, we did.
All right, so thank you for that introduction, Rudy. That's very, very generous. Yes, so I started, I've been working on this Smarty program for a couple of years, just became director at the end of June. And, you know, we have the, we have the first heat pump special offer that we've had in a number of years that just started this past Monday, September 22nd. We are working with the utilities. They are funding this special offer, which is basically like where they're buying down the rates like you would points on a mortgage. For the term, the 5, 7, and 10-year term of our loans, our standard rate is 6.99%. The promotional rate is 4.99% for market rate customers and 2.99% for low to moderate income customers at or below 60% of the state median income. The eligible technologies in this special offer are air source heat pumps, ducted and ductless mini splits, ground source or geothermal heat pumps, and heat pump water heaters. So we're excited to work with our partners at the utilities to provide this special offer to the homeowners in Connecticut. It's especially timely given the fact that the federal income tax credit will be going away for this technology at the end of December. So we're hoping that people see this rate and see that opportunity to get extra savings and take advantage of heat pumps. Next slide. The eligibility for this offer, given that Eversource and Avangrid are providing the funding, the homeowners must be an Eversource or Avangrid customer, and they also must have been approved for a heat pump rebate, which they would work directly with the utilities on. For contractors, they must be an approved Smarty contractor in good standing, but also part of Energize CT's heat pump installer network. And the rate eligibility is only available on the equipment eligible for the rebate. If there are any other measures included in the project, there'd be a blended rate applied. I've been really happy with this program. We've been able to pull it together very quickly, and working with the utilities has been really wonderful, where we're both trying to support each other to help benefit our customers and reach our goals. So if you know of anybody that's interested in heat pumps, please let them know about our special rate offer for this fall. And the last piece is we have some new lenders in Smarty, which is the first time that we've brought on board new lenders since 2017. Riverbank is a brand new lender. They are located in Windsor, Connecticut, and they serve anybody who lives, works, studies, or worships in Hartford County. And Ascend Bank is a new lender. It is the newly merged Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank, which had been a longtime Smarty lender, and Guilford Savings Bank. So now we're adding in the customers from Guilford Savings Bank who are now going to be exposed to Smarty through their relationship with Ascend. So we're happy to have them on, and you can see at the bottom, those are the lenders that we have previously had into the program. And I think that I'm passing it back to Rudy after this.
Thank you, Barbara. Yeah, we're very excited to have new lenders. It has been a long time. We're excited to work with Riverbank and to help the folks at Ascend Bank spread the word across the Connecticut shoreline and the areas that they serve. So now I'm going to turn our attention over to the building side of our programs. and pass the microphone over to Emily Basham, the Director of Financing Programs, specifically the Marketplace Assistance Program Plus, or Solar Map Plus, as we like to call it, to talk about some updates and progress with that program. Emily?
Thanks, Rudy. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on today's stakeholder webinar. We can roll to the next slide. As Rudy mentioned, I manage our Solar Marketplace Assistance Program Plus. We call it Solar Map Plus. This is our turnkey solar and storage development program at the Connecticut Green Bank. So we provide no-cost technical assistance to support solar and storage project identification and development support. We've worked with over 60 municipal and state agency projects to date, and we have expanded into affordable multifamily properties in the last year. So today's update will focus on our work in the affordable multifamily space today. Next slide. So this is an outline of what the program offers and how we work with our 3 segments of projects, which are municipal customers, state customers, and affordable multifamily. So we provide support from start to finish to make the process easier to go solar and get resiliency on a property. So we'll work directly with the property owner to find feasible sites, put together conceptual designs. That includes going out to site, developing an actual layout for a project, and matching up with the appropriate financing product that we offer. We do offer our site lease and loan through the program. And then once we settle in on the project specifics and the pricing, we execute an agreement offering our financing, and then we administer a competitive solicitation to get connected into our contractor network. So we will bundle projects together that are following the same development timeline. Green Bank will administer the RFP for those projects and select a qualified contractor who would then build the project. We manage that project all the way through its energization, and then the property can enjoy the benefits of the solar system and resiliency. So it's really soup to nuts turnkey support for our customers. Next slide. So today's update, we wanted to provide a little more information about our competitive solicitations that we are running for our first groups of affordable multifamily properties. So we're showing here our first round 1 portfolio of projects that we've recently competitively selected an EPC contractor or installer to build. So you'll see 8 projects in this portfolio in various locations across the state, in Hamden and West Hartford, Cheshire, Tolland, and Storrs. We have a variety of system sizes and property layouts in this portfolio with this type of project, varying from 90 kilowatts to 483 kilowatts project. So a little bit larger than your typical residential project, but smaller than your typical commercial project. So right in the middle is where we're seeing these projects size to. Overall, the portfolio is about 2.2 megawatts portfolio. We selected 2 different contractors, really excellent contractors in our network here in Connecticut, PurePoint Energy and Earthlight Technologies, who will be building these systems. And with the affordable multifamily program we have here in Connecticut through the RRES incentive, or the Residential Renewable Energy Solutions program, all solar projects for affordable multifamily must pass on a benefit to their tenants, which is a really excellent feature. of the program in the state, and also something that makes the Green Bank very excited to unlock these projects and these savings for tenants. So you'll see here the estimated annual savings per tenant. The average is $363. And similar to the various system sizes and building sizes, you'll see the number of tenants that are in each unit. So and some of our properties are smaller. We're seeing just 20 unit properties all the way up to 110 sort of larger scale properties. We're very excited to be able to have in total 473 renters or tenants be able to experience the benefits from solar power and feel those benefits on their utility bills. So this is our first portfolio. We're excited to have these contracts executed and be jumping into engineering, design, and shortly construction. Next slide. This is our second portfolio. It's a little bit behind the first portfolio. So we've just issued a competitive solicitation, which closed a couple weeks ago this month. This round of projects is 11 different project sites, also across the state in New Haven, Hamden, Glastonbury, Old Saybrook. You can see the towns where our projects are located here on the screen. A slightly larger portfolio, 2.3 megawatts, similar variety and system size ranging from 50 kilowatts all the way up to 1 megawatt project is our largest in this portfolio. And a total of 570 units will be served by these projects. Some special features with this portfolio, we did request proposals from our contractors for solar paired with battery storage to bring resiliency for 4 of the properties in the portfolio. So we're excited to evaluate those proposals, all the proposals, and make awards shortly to get these projects locked in with a contractor and get them built. So we're really excited to have 2 portfolios moving quickly and have, shortly be able to bring solar and storage to these properties. And I think that's the end of the update we wanted to provide for Solar Map. So I'll turn it back to Rudy. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. It's really exciting to see the significant tenant savings that is going to be produced by these systems, and that some of them will have battery storage backup with them too. So it's really great. Thank you for that update. Now I'm going to turn it over to David Beach, who's manager on our investments team, who's going to talk about a couple of our Green Liberty offerings that are in market now or soon to be in market. David?
Ready? I think there's another slide. There it is. Yeah, I'm really excited to speak with everyone today. This is a unique moment for the Green Bank that doesn't come around very often. We issue our Green Liberty notes only every 3 months. And so we have that offering open and available for the next couple of weeks still. And we also are issuing a Green Liberty bond, which we haven't done since 2021. So it's a really exciting time here. If you are interested in being a part of the work the Green Bank does and earning a strong market rate return on any money you might have sitting in a savings account that's kind of collecting dust, we have a really awesome opportunity for you to get some money back on your money and also use it for the great work we're doing here at the Green Bond. So I'm going to talk quickly about these 2 different options and how they differ and which one might be right for you. And hopefully the answer is both. So our Green Liberty bonds, these are issued on the municipal bond market. So that means the minimum price to purchase a bond is $1,000. The Green Bank did work to bring that down from the usual minimum of $10,000. And because they're issued on that market, you have to have a broker. It's not too difficult if you have one of the big name financial brokers, or if you'd like to get one, you have about a week to find a broker and make sure they know how to help you invest. These bonds are rated by S&P. They have the same credit rating as the state of Connecticut, which is AA minus, so a really strong, secure investment here. They are climate bond certified by Kestrel, who provides an outside verification on that piece. And the term lengths vary, so you could purchase a 1-year bond all the way up to about 10 or 11 years. So these are a great opportunity. Again, if you're looking for term length that varies, if you're looking to invest a higher dollar amount, and you're looking for the security or confidence that comes with having a rated bond issuance. And then we also have our Green Liberty notes. These are available, can be purchased online. If you go to greenlibertynotes.com, they'll take you to the marketplace hosted by Honeycomb Credit, our partner in crowdfunding. And you can purchase these for just $100. You don't have to have a broker. You just have to answer some questions and create an account. These have been designated a green bond also by Kestrel. And this is a 1-year term. You can think of the Green Liberty Notes kind of like a green version of a CD. We're not FDIC insured. We're not necessarily like buying a CD through your bank, but it is a 1-year note that will be repaid after 1 year with a fixed interest rate. The current offering is offering a 4.5% interest rate, and that's open here for the next couple of weeks. So please go online, check this out, and purchase one. We don't know if these interest rates will be around forever, so it's best to grab one while you can. They are available quarterly. And the other thing I should mention here is that this is, I believe, now our 14th offering, and we have repaid 11 offerings. All of those prior offerings have been repaid on time with full interest paid. And that's because we have gone out of our way to give our investors confidence, not only that this is an investment that is supporting the clean energy transition, we do that with the green bond designation, but also that it's a secure investment, you're going to be paid back. And so one of the things we did to offer additional certainty there is to covenant that we will maintain an expected debt service coverage ratio of 2 to 1. So the revenue that supports the notes are supported by a Small Business Energy Advantage program, which offers energy efficiency loans to small businesses. And so our expected proceeds from those loans are twice as much as the expected repayment amounts. And so that's allowed us to be really consistent and have a foolproof repayment record. So you can really have confidence in your note investment. So those are your two really cool options. I should actually mention while I'm here, the Green Liberty bonds are supported by renewable energy credits created by thousands of solar systems on homes in the state of Connecticut. So that's also a really exciting, impactful investment you can make as well. So September's a big month if you'd like to invest with the Green Bank, the Green Liberty bonds especially. We don't know when they'll be back. It's been 4 years since our last issuance. So if you'd like to take part of that, please take the time to do so. You can go to greenlibertybonds.com and learn all about what it takes to get involved in that way. I'll be sticking around at the end to answer any questions, but hope that was clear. And then again, really excited to be having these two awesome offerings in the market right now. With that, I will let Rudy take it and bring us to our next section.
Thank you, David. Yeah, incredibly exciting, as David said, sort of two really great options. Go check out details on all those. And if you have questions, please reach out to us. The next section, very excited to have this next section. It's a first time we've really had this section in a quarterly stakeholder update webinar. And I'm going to turn it over now to Kevin Moss, a senior manager on our innovations team, to provide the update on electric school buses.
Perfect. Thanks, Rudy. You can go to the next slide. Great. So the Green Bank has been active on the school bus electrification investment front, but today I wanted to highlight a new offering that we're providing on the technical assistance side. So Emily talked about our Solar Map Plus planning offerings for solar. This is a sort of equivalent on the school bus planning side. So we've been selected by PURA here in Connecticut to implement a fleet advisory services program related to a medium and heavy duty electric vehicle decision that they recently made. And so the program will be in the near term entirely focused on school bus electrification. And we're going to be offering the planning services completely for free for the pilot cohort that's kicking off this fall and the January 2026 cohorts. And that we're really targeting these two initial cohorts towards school districts and school bus operators located in Connecticut distressed municipalities, of which there are about 34 across the state. Our pilot cohort is going to include CTEX, which is the Connecticut Technical Education and Career System, and also Preston Public Schools. So we're going to learn with those folks throughout the fall, and then we've begun actively recruiting for our January 2026 cohort, and we're targeting to have 3 to 5 schools and school bus operators included in that. And I'd say that, you know, the overall goal of this technical assistance offering is to create a really robust planning to investment pipeline across the state of Connecticut. The Green Bank currently has, our board has approved about $15 million of investments into the electric school bus sector, and we really want to grow that number in the months and years to come. Rudy, you can go to the next slide. And then this is just a screenshot of the various planning elements that'll be covered in that free service that I mentioned. So there's a lot of, you know, looking at the routes that the buses take, figuring out the appropriate vehicles and routes to swap in first, looking at various charging models and what makes sense for that particular fleet. A big component, as well as doing an on-site infrastructure assessment, essentially figuring out how much electric capacity is at the school bus yard, and then, you know, sort of right sizing the project based on that really key constraint. And then at the end of the program, the school district and the school bus operator will receive a district specific roadmap with, you know, kind of key findings and opportunities. And we really want that to be not just a planning tool, but also a funding access tool. So part of the program will be facilitating the participants' applications for federal and state grants. And at that point is when Green Bank financing can come into the picture and really help land these projects. So we're incredibly excited about this new offering. And I'd say that our main ask is just to get in touch. And so if you're curious about participating, feel free to reach out over email, and I'll drop my email address in the chat. Thanks, Rudy.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, if you're listening to this and you know have any kind of stake in helping get school bus fleets electrified, please do reach out to Kevin. We'll be happy to have to provide those guidances and those tools. So now I'm going to turn us over to environmental infrastructure. And Ashley Stewart is going to be providing that update. Ashley's a manager on the environmental infrastructure team. We're happy to have Ashley give some highlights of the program.
Thank you, Rudy. The next slide has everything. I only have one. The environmental infrastructure team has been busy, and we'd like to welcome you all to join our first semi-annual webinar on October 2nd. During the webinar, we'll provide updates on the growth of the program, our environmental infrastructure across our environmental infrastructure sectors, which include water, waste and recycling, parks and recreation, land conservation, agriculture, climate adaptation and resilience, and environmental markets. And the only other thing that I'd like to add is if you want to stay connected to the environmental infrastructure program and for more information, visit our landing page. The website is linked on this presentation, and also feel free to add your contact information to stay connected for any updates and offerings that we might have for you all. Thank you again, and Rudy, that's all.
Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, folks, if you haven't received an invitation to that webinar on October 2nd, You can see the link on the screen. We'll be promoting that for the next couple of weeks. So definitely come check that out and hear everything that the environmental infrastructure team has been up to for the last few months. I'm going to turn it now back to Brian for some closing thoughts.
All right. Thank you, Rudy and team, for all of that. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Just a few closing thoughts before we open it up to Q&A. You know, if you are a frequent listener, you would have seen this slide over the course of all of our quarterly presentations this year, which was to really express the importance of various public policies that we've prioritized and are really focused on implementing. And you've heard every aspect of them here today. The first one is Public Act 22-25, is the Connecticut Clean Air Act. Senators Cohen and Haskell led the passage of that bill, and we heard a great update from Kevin in terms of what we're doing on electric school buses and our fleet accelerator. So making steady progress there. Secondly is the programs that Emily was speaking about through Solar Map Plus, which is really helping implement Section 2 of Public Act 2148, which was led by Senator Lopes. So you can again see all of the activity our teams are doing to make sure that the clean energy economy is affordable and accessible to everyone. And then lastly, enabling investment in resilient communities. So there are several public policies there. 2153, so we heard from Ed Kranich talking about the energy storage solutions. And the recently passed Public Act 25-33, which is the governor's bill, his Resilience Improvement Districts bill. And Ashley was speaking there about environmental infrastructure, which also builds on a 2021 bill led by the governor, which expanded our scope beyond clean energy to include environmental infrastructure. So our teams are actively implementing that. Barbara noted in the SMARTY program, we're going to be investing and supporting resilience projects too. So lots just happening as we operationalize and turn those ambitious public policies into investment opportunities in our green economy here in Connecticut. Let's go and go into the next slide. Just wanted to give a real quick shout out to Bill McKibben for engaging senior citizens. As I learned over the weekend, these are individuals generally retired, over 60, who are throwing their volunteer time behind advancing solutions to climate change through a democracy lens. So their focus is really on, at least right now, building the residential solar market. And I wanted to recognize and thank Lynn and Davida for organizing that event and bringing all the volunteers out across the state. There were events across the state. I happened to be at Central Connecticut State University, which was a lot of fun, presenting the past, present, and future of residential solar in Connecticut. Many of you may or may not know we have over 100,000 families now that have gone solar, deploying nearly 900 megawatts of solar in our state. So that is a lot. That's good. We have a lot more to go. And let's go to the next slide. A part of that future, as Ed was laying out earlier, is really making sure that we are pairing those solar PV systems with storage. As I noted on Sunday, we want to put a brain on solar PV. We don't want it just to save energy costs for the participant, but we also want it to deliver energy security to the participant while also helping reduce rates for all ratepayers by reducing peak demand in our summer and winter seasons through the dispatching of those batteries. We're implementing Public Act 2153, which I noted before. That's the 1,000 megawatt target. We're implementing 150 megawatt target for residential solar by the end of 2030. That is through the Energy Storage Solutions program that Ed was speaking about. We're behind. We're at 5 megawatts. We need to be at 150 megawatts by the end of 2030. So we have a long ways to go. We currently have a low, what's called connection rate or attachment rate between solar and storage. Somewhere between 1% to 2% of all projects have storage on them. I think we're heading into, based on Public Act 25173, the Energy Affordability Act that passed on nearly a unanimous bipartisan basis. I think there was only a 1 no vote in both the House and the Senate passing that Energy Affordability Act. There were a couple of messages sent there. One was the non-bypassable charge on net metering for the tariff compensation. 3.25 cents is going to be charged. There's a desire to support Eversource building out its advanced metering infrastructure using lower cost state capital, and an expression of trying to move to time of use rates or time varying rates. So the legislators are sending a strong signal that we need to move beyond pure solar and net metering, where some 60% of all the production of those systems is being exported, to actually collecting and storing that power and allowing the utilities to dispatch it when the grid needs it the most, so that we can effectively socialize the benefits of those systems. We are looking forward to Solars with a Brain, and with that in mind, we partnered with and are happy to welcome GoodLeap to Connecticut's market. This is a company that has a virtual power plant focus and uses artificial intelligence to help the dispatch of those distributed energy resources better than humans can on a dispatch basis. So we're excited to welcome them and other third-party owners in to help us achieve our public policy objectives here in the state of Connecticut. So all right, let me stop there, and Rudy, will turn it back over to you for any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, so we'll pause here. If folks have any questions, feel free to put them into the go-to question box. The first one that popped up actually was one that we didn't reference today, but in a couple of previous webinars, we've been talking about how Smarty has expanded into some of those environmental infrastructure measures. And someone is asking about wells and septic. Is that, they're asking essentially if they remember correctly that Smarty can now be used for financing wells and septic. And Barbara, I'll unmute you, but in the meantime, I'll say the answer there is yes, Smarty can be used for wells and septic. If you want to add to that, Barb.
Yeah, we actually have a number of well and septic contractors that are approved Smarty contractors that are available to, run your projects through there. We feel that this is a real opportunity for Smarty moving forward, because having potable water and being able to have water in the home, clean water in the home, and also having a working septic system are two really basic needs from homeowners in the state. And just based on the age of a lot of the housing stock and the age of probably the systems that support them, we think there's a good number of people who would be able to take advantage of Smarty. We've talked to people out in the field, homeowners, and sometimes they say that they are refinancing their homes in order to afford that. And we think that there should be a better way, and we think Smarty is that better way.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. I'll also add too that with this drought that we've been experiencing, there are a number of folks that are having problems with their wells. So, if you hear of folks that are having trouble with their wells or septic, Smarty can be useful for that. So feel free to reach out to us about that. Question for you, David, if you're still listening. Question on if the Green Bank's bond is, the interest on that is going to be subject to federal or state income tax.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I have the answer, but I'm forgetting, because I believe it's federally tax exempt, but I think it's state is subject to state taxes. I worry I may be getting that wrong, so I will email back the questioner, but I'm fairly confident that's correct.
Yeah, I think that sounds right to me too. Okay. Smart-E. So another Smart-E related question, Barbara. Can Smart-E loans be used by homeowners for solar on a rental property that they're not living in?
No. One of the main criteria for Smarty loans is that the homeowner has to occupy the unit. So they not only the loan can only be taken out by a homeowner, and the homeowner has to live in one of the units. We do go up to 4 units, but the homeowner has to live in the property.
Right. For folks who might be landlords, there is a product called the landlord loan that Capital for Change offers that is very similar to Smarty, but it's for the properties that are not owner occupied, that are landlord owned 1 to 4 unit properties. So if that's the sort of other side of that coin there. A question for you, Brian, about Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. Any updates on timelines about the appeals process there?
Let me just set some context for other listeners. As part of the Inflation Reduction Act was the $27 billion Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, the single largest investment in climate justice in the history of this country. There were 3 sources of funding underneath the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. One was a $7 billion Solar for All, led by Senator Sanders. And then there was $20 billion between 2 sources, $6 billion for the Clean Communities Investment Accelerator and $14 billion for the National Clean Investment Fund that was led by Senators Van Hollen and Senators Markey. As many of you know, in February of this year, the EPA unlawfully froze the accounts through Citibank of the National Clean Investment Fund and Clean Communities Investment Accelerator awardees. That case went into court, the DC courts. The judge there ruled that it violated the law and supported the awardees. The EPA appealed that into the DC Circuit. Recently, I think it was the beginning of September, the DC Circuit ruled against the awardees, essentially arguing that this is a contract as opposed to a violation of the Constitution. And the awardees recently filed in the DC Circuit trying to get the en banc, which is the entire circuit, to respond to their lawsuit. So what does that mean in terms of timing there? We're a long ways off from the resolution of the National Clean Investment Fund, the $20 billion there. The Connecticut Green Bank has a $93.4 million stake in that program through our awardee, which is the Coalition for Green Capital. As part of our award, we've got an allocation for Connecticut, $41 million that's was working to support many of the programs we were talking about here. We've also got Puerto Rico in there. We've closed on a contract with Puerto Rico, but our funds are froze. So we're looking to execute if and when those funds are unfrozen. The Solar for All, in early August, the EPA canceled those programs as well. As folks know, here in Connecticut, the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection led the submission of Project Sunbridge, which was to really support the build out of multifamily affordable housing, solar and storage. As we heard about from Emily today, you can see that we are clearly moving forward in spite of those funds being frozen. So don't have as strong of a view on when that will be resolved, if at all. But that is the state of play, given all of the uncertainties that are going on in the federal context with respect to the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, its impacts on the Inflation Reduction Act, the investment tax credits, programs such as the GGRF. There's a lot of uncertainty, but I can say that here in Connecticut, we have a really good public policy architecture that we're working to use to help us continue to mobilize private investment to help our families and businesses. So I don't think that was quick, but I think that it required a more thorough response.
Oh, no, that's a great, very thorough answer, Brian. Thank you for that. I think we have just one more question, last call for questions, but the last question here is for you, Kevin, I think, on the electric school bus side of things. Have you been seeing the pricing on electric school buses decreasing over the last few years as adoption is growing and battery prices are hopefully coming down?
Thanks, Rudy. That's a good question. I'll be honest, I think prices have not come down as much as folks anticipated maybe a few years ago, and I think there are a number of reasons for that. One of which being that there is some tethering going on in the market to federal grant award levels. And so just listing a price that's, near the ceiling amount of a federal grant. So it's still an early market with a lot of, I'd say, speed bumps in terms of the lumpiness of when orders are made and when production can ramp up. But I think, here at the Green Bank, we're trying to support a more consistent marketplace, and that should help bring prices down over time. And I think longer term, we want to try and tap into things like vehicle to grid services and revenues to further improve the total cost of ownership of the buses.
Perfect. Great, thank you for that, Kevin. So that is the last question that we have.
Rudy?
Yeah, David.
Hey, I did get it wrong. The Green Liberty bonds are federally taxable, but Connecticut state tax exempt. I'm not sure if that individual is still on the call. We could reach out separately, but wanted to drop that in quick before we wrapped up.
Perfect. Thank you for that clarification there. All right. So as always, if folks have questions, they can always reach out to us. The email address on the screen gets directly to us. We appreciate everyone taking the time out of your day to join us, and we'll be in touch with you for another quarterly update in early 2026. So thank you all. Have a great day.